Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Tuesdays with Terry. Hey, that's it right there, Tuesday with Terry B. I used to say it's Terry B from New Jersey. Now it's Terry from Austin, Texas, where the sun is hot, the barbecue is sweet, and all the drinks are free when you hang out with me. Hope you're having a great day. I'm having a wonderful day this morning. Things are, remember this, every day's a new day, and tomorrow you get to start fresh. Today you get to start fresh, and it's a great day. You know, we've all heard this phrase before, leave your ego at the door. And we all use that in business, and we say, well, yes, you know, we do that, but doesn't our ego get in our way sometimes? I know, I've got a big ego, you know, I know that, and I'm self-aware of that. And so I wanted to share that. Here's another phrase, the higher a monkey climbs a tree, the more he shows his ass. Yeah, true story. And so pretty soon what happens in business, you get to learn more and more and more. And man, you went from A to B to C to D position. And man, you're climbing the corporate ladder. You're climbing the road to success, or things are going well. And all of a sudden you feel like you know everything. And I remember my career, you know, in my late 20s, man, I thought I had it all figured out in the fitness business. And then I got promoted and I got to be a training director. And man, did I have that figured out. And then I got promoted to a VP. And then I thought I knew everything in my 30s. And then finally I was a COO, the Chief Operating Officer. And I'll remember just a funny story to keep your ego in check. When I became the COO, a couple buddies of mine from college sent me a letter of congratulations. And on the cover of that letter, the address, they wrote Terry Blachek, COO, EIEIO. Right? Old MacDonald had a farm, EIEIO. Right? And on his farm, he had a horse, whatever it was, but they were actually making fun of me. That kept my ego in check. E-I-E-I-O, COO, CFO, CEO, CDO, CMO, whatever it is. I mean, how many C's? I mean, oh my word. Maybe that is time to take a check on your ego and have a couple moments with yourself. And so I wanted to give you 10 ideas today that maybe might help you do that, all right? I give you 10 ideas. I'll whip through this. But number one is a lot of times, you know, people are always looking for an easy way. I see it all over the internet today. I see passive income, passive income. How can you make passive income and invest in this and do this and do this? And if you just click here, and I'm going to tell you it's overrated. I'm going to tell you it's overrated. And I know everybody wants it, but I can tell you the first very successful story I had with Orange Theory Fitness. It was my third store, and I remember I opened it up, and I did it by myself. I had just gone through a divorce, and I did it by myself, and I had just accomplished something, and I was super proud of it. But I went home alone that night, and I was 2 blocks from a grocery store, and I went out to buy myself groceries, and I remember recalling this story. Is this all there is? Is this all there is? Because what I really wanted is I wanted to be able to celebrate with someone. I wanted to share my success and victory with someone. Imagine hitting a hole-in-one on a golf course, but being all by yourself and, you know, get to nobody to share it with. And it's not quite as fun, right? So part of what's having fun is to be able to do it with a group of people. And I want to remind you that you've heard this before, but it's true, half the fun is getting there. And so I said this in a previous podcast, but you got to make sure that whatever you're doing, you're having fun and you're enjoying the moment. That's number one. When you start having fun, you start forgetting about your ego and you start doing things that are silly and goofy. We just did something in the office called a sing-off. You play the first few phrases of a song, you cut the song, and the rest of the group has to sing the lyrics. Pour some sugar on me, right? A Bon Jovi song, a Michael Jackson song, whatever it is. And so when people start being silly or goofy, or they come out of their shell, they get creative, and all of a sudden the egos start to fall because everybody's in the same situation. You don't know all the lyrics. You can't remember all the words. So I'm just sharing with you one of the ways to get out of your own way. Number one is start having fun in business. Number two is I want you to take a look at your work ethic. And think about that as far as, are you really putting in the time and are you really putting in the effort? You've heard this phrase before, I'm bringing it back, but when you find something you really love to do, you never have to work another day of your life, right? And people say, well, I don't want to work anymore. But I'm just telling you, when you don't have anything to do, you get bored. And when you get bored, you get lazy. And when you get lazy, you get out of shape, your mind starts not going as well. You need to keep busy. You need to keep your brain going. You need to keep your body going. So part of that is work ethic. Now, it might be a different type of work, but all I'm suggesting is number 2 is take a look at your work ethic, and do you have a schedule? Do you have things that you're doing throughout the day that sharpen your mind, sharpen your body, and help you focus on business? Number 3, you got to compete. If you're going to be in a business, you've got to figure out how to compete. And if you're doing the same things today that you were doing 5 years ago, if you're doing the same things today that you were doing 3 years ago, that has to change. You're not keeping up with the times. And so Orange Theory Fitness, right? We went into COVID. Everything's banging, zooming, buzzing. The buzz around is crazy, crazy, crazy. Boom. March 17th, we shut down. And all of a sudden, we got compliance-driven, social distancing, temperature checks outside the studio, social distancing, mask inside a workout. You talk about waterboarding. If you've ever worn a mask while you work out and you start sweating, it feels like waterboard. I've never been waterboard, but that's what I think it feels like. So I would have to take 2 or 3 masks with me and change the mask so I could have a dry mask. But everything, we had to clean every single class. We had to, clean it off. And it was just, everything became compliance driven. And we started focusing about the compliance of the piece rather than the results, rather than the fun that we were having. But I'm just telling you, if you want to compete, you have to evolve. And I'm not saying everything needs to change, but it might need some tweaking. So what's happening in the fitness industry right now is strength training. It's a big push, right? Less cardio, more strength. Change the way you look, change the way you feel. Muscle burns more calories than fat at rest, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a big push to strength training. And so Orange Theory created something called Lift 45. They've got some lift and strength classes mixed in with the typical Orange Theory. A lot of people don't even know that Orange Theory Fitness has a strength component. A lot of people think it's just cardio, but I'm telling you, it's more than just a treadmill. It's more than just a rower. It actually has the strength component, 26 minutes of cardio and 28 minutes of strength. And then you got about 5 minutes of stretching at the end. I'm telling you, figure out a way to compete and add value. Number 3 is you got to be listening and analyzing, right? So when you make some changes or you're trying to evolve your business, listen, get your ear down to that railroad track, right? And listen to see if anything's coming. So you hear what your team is saying, hear what your members are saying, listen to your surveys, listen to your 360s, your net promoter scores, if you're familiar with that concept. But you've got to listen. Then you've got to analyze, look at the data, listen, and then make changes. That's number 4. Number 5, you've got to be willing to make a decision. And I use this as a joke. How many psychologists does it take to change a light bulb? Anybody? Anyone? Yeah, just one. But the light bulb has got to want to change. It's got to be willing to change. Joke. But I'm just suggesting is many times we are afraid or we're fearful about making decisions, and because we've had success, and so we don't want to do something new. And that is your ego talking to you. When you don't want to change, your ego is speaking, and your success is your success. But to stay up with the times, change is inevitable. You've got to be willing to change. You've got to be willing to make a decision. Number 6, learn from those mistakes and learn from your successes. So how do you debrief after your effort? If you had a week of whatever you were trying to do, debrief. Did it work? Did it didn't work? If you had an event, debrief it. Did it work or it didn't work? If you had a project and you launched something, did it work or didn't work? What went well? What didn't go so well? Etc. But you've got to debrief and you have to learn from those mistakes. Number 7 is don't forget to, man, I'm reminding you, I said it early, but keep that ego at the door. Stay humble. Don't forget where you came from. Whenever I think about that, I came from a very small beginning myself. I grew up, and people say, are you from Texas? Are you from Florida? No, I grew up in Northeast Pennsylvania. My grandfather was a farmer. My grandfather and his brother started a dairy feed or a customized feed business in a feed mill where they mixed dairy feed for farmers. And it was for small farmers up in the northeast part of Pennsylvania. But it was a successful business. My grandfather and grandmother passed that down to my mom and dad and my aunt and uncle. And then that got passed on to my brother. But I'm just telling you is I don't forget where I came from. I don't forget the town that I grew up in was called Hop Bottom, H-O-P, Bottom, like a bunny rabbit hop Bottom, Pennsylvania. Yeah, look it up. Population probably 500. I don't even know if there's 1,000 people in town. One blinking light. And if you blinked, you missed it. You drove right through the damn town, right? It's a very small town. Small beginnings, but don't forget where you came from. It was never as easy. You're never as successful as you are today. You want to stay humble. Leave that ego at the door. Number 8, stay fit and feel good, man. I got to tell you, I'm excited. Part of my energy comes today because of last 10 days, I've started working out. I'm doing my lifting in the morning. I'm walking and jogging probably 3 to 4 miles a day. And I'm not where I want to be, but I feel better that I'm actually spending time and focused on myself. And I can't tell you how important that is and how it will improve your energy, how it will improve your outlook, is spend 30, 45, or 60 minutes every single day. If you can do it in the morning, get it out of the way, because in the evening it's harder, but it's got to work for you. But get time for your fitness level. Stay fit. Next one, number 9, I think this is number 9, is embrace change and always experiment. Experiment. Try new things, right? And don't be afraid to fail. I can't tell you, man, I've tried so many things in marketing and I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to spend some money on it. And some of it works and some of it doesn't work. And nobody ever remembers this. But I'm going to ask you a question. Who knows who has the most hits in baseball? Anybody? Do you know who has the most hits in baseball? Yeah, Pete Rose. Pete Rose still, I believe, has the most hits in baseball. Who has the most strikeouts in baseball? Anybody want to know that? Anybody? Anybody who has the most strikeouts? Well, you may have said Babe Ruth, but that's not true. It's really Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, as we remember what he did in his World Series appearance. But nobody remembers the strikeouts. Everybody remembers the glory. Everybody remembers the home runs. And remember that when we talk about experiment, nobody remembers the failures. Everybody remembers the wins. And the last one is, man, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and have courage to stand up and do what you want to do. I know it's never easy. Solve your own problems, but you've got to believe in yourself. There's 300 million plus people in the U.S., and I forget how many people in the world, but there's a lot, and nobody is exactly like you. You're going to invest in somebody, invest in yourself. Why would you invest in Google or Apple when you don't have any decisions over what they're going to do with that business? Because you think it's a good investment, but I would encourage you, I would tell you that you need to be investing in yourself and believing in what you can do. Nobody has more control over your outcome and your destiny than you do. So remember this, is keep that ego at the door and keep these 10 points in mind as you move forward, and you can be successful. You know, remember, success has no prejudice at all. All you have to do is do the work and success will come to you. Have a great day. My name's Terry. Join me next Tuesday for Tuesday with Terry.